Hello, everyone. This is Gigi, the OG Gigi, in fact. And here I am bringing in a new video about where we are today and the threat against independent journalism, content creators of all kinds, and also the threat to our lives and daily lives by fascism, which are all interconnected. So, this is me, the OGGG. I am the creator of the Independent Network of Creators, which is a content creator revolution that all content creators should get 100% of the credit and money for our creations, and we should own 100% of our work, not our agencies, not the publishing companies who publish our work. No, we should. And it has already been happening. The internet is being viciously censored by the parasitic class, specific, just billionaires, specifically Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, of course. What their ultimate goal is to destroy the entirety of the internet, control all of the content on the internet, and replace all of the human generated content, which includes our entertainment, our news, our everything, will then be replaced with AI generated content, which they can easily program the AI to say or do or create whatever they want with the message that they want it to have. So this is why the content creator revolution right now is so important. And one of the ways we can fight that is by using our videos, our voices, and our influence and in our content to read and document the history and journalism already done before it gets shut down, taken off websites, and just completely erased and censored. So, again, this is me of Inc. That's our point, our purpose of having independent network of creators. But I also want to make sure you guys watch this video by Senator Chris Murphy, 6 weeks in on YouTube. The White House is on its way to being the most corrupt in U.S. history, which is an absolutely fabulous breakdown of the of illegal President Trump and his cabinet's destruction of the Constitution of the United States and fascist takeover. He actually breaks it down through all the individual acts of domestic terrorism that they have done and how they've tried to normalize their fascism, destruction, theft, and murder of everything. So, highly recommend you watch this video. And in the meantime, what I'm going to focus on right now is how we can fight fascism. How can we fight this takeover of internet censorship to be replaced by AI generated content controlled by billionaires? So this is what I want my fellow content creators and influencers to do. Add it to your content, reading very important articles from independent journalists that document the history of what these horrible, horrible companies, corporations, and stuff have done, or on the other side, the fabulous things that saviors, heroes, community groups, civil rights movements, civil disobedience in communities have done to protect us all. And I think the Black Panther Party were the absolute best at creating the type of America that America promises to be, a land of opportunity for all people, freedom and justice for all people, and the right to pursuit of happiness for all people, with all our basic needs met, full equality and equity, and having a, the government be or community be an actual support system that it's supposed to be, not controlled by billionaires and capitalists, oligarchs, and other forms of terrorists. So before before the terrorists censor this article, try to take this article down and any history about the Black Panthers and the great things they did, I am going to use my my influence and my content and my channels to save this article in this video. So let's get started. And what the Black Panthers did is what we need to be doing right now to fight the fascist global takeover of the world. Not just here in the United States, everywhere. So, the Atlantic Black Star, 8 Black Panther Party programs that were more empowering than the federal government programs. Black Panthers did it better than the federal government. So by Nick Childs, if you are Nick Childs, I highly suggest you save and document your article on more than just the Atlantic Black Star. We don't know if the uh, corporate and billionaire terrorists are going to come for your article and censor it. So I hope you have this article saved on many platforms. We still have the Internet Archive. We still have um, Wikipedia and just anywhere else, as many sources as you can. Nick, thank you so much for this. So here we have the breakfast program. The free breakfast for school children program was set up in Berkeley, California in 1968 by Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton. It was the first significant community program organized by the Panthers, and perhaps the most well-known. By the end of 1969, free breakfast was served in 19 cities under the sponsorship of the national headquarters and 23 local affiliates. More than 20,000 children received full, free breakfast, bread, bacon, eggs, and grits before going to their elementary school, junior, high schools, junior school, and high schools. So again, we have the federal government, which is owned and manipulated by the billionaires and corporate interests. And even while this was going around, the Black Panthers actually set up a free breakfast program that would feed school children before they went to their schools. This is what we need to do now. We in our communities, just like what the Black Panthers did, set up free food, free breakfast programs in our local communities and run it, fund it, and make sure that everybody around us is fed. This is essentially going off the grid of the capitalist controlled system and creating our own alternate government and community system that actually and practically feeds and helps all of us. Who benefits from this? Everybody. It didn't just benefit Black kids. It benefited everybody. Because again, the real war is the class war. They want us fighting in culture wars. But this was a nice, great, practical program, free breakfast. It was By the end of 1969, it was served in 19 cities, and the national headquarters of the Black Panthers and their 23 local affiliates. This actual benefits, feeding people who needed it. And they set it up separately from the federal government. When the federal government failed, this is where we are now. We can do this now. And here, the Black Panther Party and the fight against medical discrimination. Here we are again. Luigi Mangione and his team showed us exactly who the enemy is, and the Black Panther Party ages ago showed us exactly how we can fight it by creating our own medical system, separate from the capitalist controlled one. So, Black Panther Party created free health clinics. The clinics were called People's Free Medical Centers and eventually were established in 13 cities across the country, from Cleveland to New Haven, Connecticut, and from Winston-Salem, Winston-Salem, North Carolina to Los Angeles. Women, according to sociologist Alondra Nelson, were the backbone of the effort. Not surprising, considering that approximately 60% of the Black Panther Party's members were female. Some of the clinics were in storefronts, others in trailers or hastily built structures, and unfortunately, most did not last long. But they offered services such as testing for high blood pressure, lead poisoning, tuberculosis and diabetes, cancer detection screenings, physical exams, treatments for cold and flu, immunization against polio, measles, rubella, diphtheria. Nelson reports that many of the women and men involved in PFMC, People's Free Medical Centers, went on to become credentialed healthcare professionals. So, again, the pharmaceutical industry and the health industry now, which is, we've seen what all these health insurance companies are doing, are trying to control and manipulate our healthcare so that doctors have no say in our healthcare, that we have no say in our own healthcare. And to make healthcare so expensive that only people in certain classes can afford to have it. That healthcare isn't a right anymore. It's a commodity based on your income, which is inexcusable. So, what did the Black Panthers do? They created free medical centers. Again, we can do this right now in our communities. If this is what you're good at or passionate about, we need the doctor's revolution to happen. I don't care who owns you, whether it's Summit Health or whatever company has taken over your practice as a doctor. But, just like Doctors Without Borders, you need to go off the grid of the capitalist and insurance system, and due to your Hippocratic oath as a doctor, you need to provide health care to anyone, regardless of insurance and regardless of income. You need to give people access. The gateway to justice is through access. And the Black Panthers understood that. So we need the doctor's revolution, go off the grid of your corporate controllers and entities, and create free medical centers everywhere. Just do it. The Black Panthers showed us the way. We can do this nationally. We can do this globally. And the Black Panther Liberation School, the Youth Institute. The Intercommunal Youth Institute was established in January 1971 by the Black Panther Party. In 1974, the name was changed to the Oakland Community School. The Black Panther Party goal was to get children to learn to their highest potential, to strengthen their minds so that one day they would be successful. The school graduated its first class in June 1974, and in September 1977, California Governor Edmund Jerry Brown Jr. and the California legislature gave Oakland Community School a special award for having set the standard of the highest level of elementary education in the state. Again, to fight fascism, Trumpism, uh, capitalism, oligarchy, we need to create our own educational system that is off their grid. We can do this. We can create our own schools. We can do do our best to preserve our history, the real history that billionaires don't want you to know about. We can all do this. So we need to come together, talk to your neighbors, meet people all around. They might have, they might look different from you, have different political views from you, but right now we need to all unite and come together and prioritize this, that we are all on the same side in the same goal. In this class war, everybody who is not a billionaire is on the same side, regardless of our demographics. Okay? This is a class war. And as part of the class war, we need to protect history, independent journalism, facts, and education. They got rid of the Department of Education now. So what are we going to do? Take the Black Panther Party's lead and create our own schools with high merits and high education, and prioritize facts and truth over what is convenient for billionaires and capitalists. We can do this globally. Doesn't have to be just here in the United States or in our local communities. We can do this globally to fight fascism. Seniors against a fearful environment. SAFE. SAFE, a nonprofit corporation, was started by the Black Panther Party at the request of a group of senior citizens for the purpose of preventing muggings and attacks upon the elderly, particularly when they went out to cash their Social Security or pension checks. Well, we know the Trump terrorists are getting rid of those and pocketing it for themselves, our money. They already steal from our wages, but now they're going to steal our Social Security and pensions too. Not hyperbole. This is what they're actually doing. That's why Musk terrorized and hijacked the U.S. Treasury. Yeah, that happened. Prior to approaching the Black Panther Party, the seniors had gone to the Oakland Police Department to request protection. There, the seniors were told that, oh, they should just walk close to the curb in the future, according to a Panther report by David Hillard, who served as the party's chief of staff. Their program offered free transportation and escort services to the residents of the Satellite Senior Homes, a residential complex for the elderly in Oakland, California. So, again, the police force, whether you want to admit it or not, and pretty much, which was completely, undeniably exposed by Luigi Mangioni's team, that the police force are in the pockets of the capitalist oligarchs, parasitic class, and the elite. The police will not defend us. They are in the pockets of billionaires. Funny how when a serial killer, Brian Thompson, was shot in the street. Just in case you didn't know, Brian Thompson was the CEO of United Healthcare. And he, with a stroke of his pen, denied millions of people of mhm, life-saving health treatments and health insurance. And Andrew Whitty, who's still at large, is doing the same thing. And so when he was killed, it was again a heroic act because it was a serial killer was killed, saving so many people's lives. But what happened? What did the cops do? The cops went all out to try to find this person. They weren't going after Brian Thompson or Andrew Whitty for denying people health insurance for destroying their lives, millions of people's lives. Nah, that's okay. They the thousands of rape kits that they left to mold and expire, they did nothing about. Missing tons of missing people, regular Americans who have reported crimes to the police all the time and that they're in danger. Nothing was done. But, oh, a CEO did. We're right on that. So, whether you like it or not, you cannot trust the police. So, going off the grid, the Black Panthers developed an alternate system that protects everyone in the community. And again, it's not just Black seniors that benefited from this. Everybody did. They created a free program for transportation and escort services. Why can't we do this now? Why can't we, in all of our communities, go off the capitalist grid and set up free transportation programs and escort programs to help people and shelter them from this, again, these fearful environments that fascists and capitalists and oligarchs and billionaires are creating, that are destroying the quality of life for all of us, regardless of our demographics. This is a class war. People's free ambulance service. The service provided free, rapid transportation for sick and injured people without time-consuming checks into the patient's financial status or means. Hello, this is what ambulances should be. Healthcare shouldn't be based on income. So if you live in other countries, I know this will probably shock you, but United States does not have universal health care. Our health care is based entirely on our income, and if we cannot afford a service, we don't get it. So a lot of people just stay sick or try to deal with it on our own without going to a doctor, without going to emergency services or ambulances, because the capitalists have skyrocketed the prices of our prescriptions, of our treatments, and of our ambulance services. Yes, thousands of dollars for basic services that are provided in universal health care, all so that billionaires can get richer off of our sickness and misery to please shareholders. That's what the United States is right now. So the Black Panthers actually showed us what America should be. That if America wasn't run by capitalists, corporations, and billionaires, we would actually have universal health care here. We would have free ambulance services. We would have free transportation and escort services. We would have free food breakfast programs. They set this up while the capitalist system was going. They managed to create and these free programs that benefited everybody in the community. Why can't we do this here? Why can't we do this now? This is how we fight fascism, through community and practical solutions that value equality and equity for all people. The People's Free Food Program. Yep, one of my favorites that the Black Panthers did, the Free Food Program. This program provided free food to Black and other oppressed people. The intent of the free food program was to supplement the groceries of Black and poor people until economic conditions allowed them to purchase good food at reasonable prices, according to Hilliard. The free food program provided two basic services to the community. One, an ongoing supply of food to meet their daily needs, and two, periodic mass distributions of food to reach a larger segment of the community than could be serviced from the ongoing supply. The community was provided with bags of fresh food containing items such as eggs, canned fruits and vegetables, chickens, milk, potatoes, rice, bread, cereal, and so forth. A minimum of a week's supply of food was included in each bag. Wow. Wow. Free food program. Why is this hard? It The Black Panthers showed us the way to make an equitable society that, okay, those who can afford to buy food for the good food, healthy food for themselves, at reasonable price. You don't need this program. We get it. But for those who can't and can't afford to or are discriminated against from buying and accessing food and health, especially healthy food, we will create a program to help you. So it's benefited all poor people who and all oppressed and discriminated people to access a week's supply of free food every week until they could manage themselves. Again, Black Panthers did it. They set it up. While the capitalist system was going, they created an alternate system that actually benefited the people who needed it. We need free food programs now, especially with Trump's terrorist tariffs. That's hard to say. Trump's terrorist tariffs. Globally, to try to skyrocket the cost of everything at the collapse of the United States economy and pretty much everywhere so that billionaires can just take all the money. But yeah, we can organize, we can talk to members of our own communities, we can set up our own version of the free food program, no matter where we are in the world. We can do this. This is how we fight fascism. Fascism doesn't want us to come together. That is why they focus on identity politics and culture wars. They want us to be fighting amongst ourselves instead of realizing, hey, we're actually the 99% part of the working class, and our enemy has always been the elites, the rich, the billionaires, and the parasitic class, always. Not trans people, not Black people, not immigrants, nope, not atheists, not women, not men, nope. The real war is always the class war. And the way to win against the class war is to unite people of all different demographics to recognize that the one goal is for all of us to be equals and have a thriving quality of life. And we all deserve it, regardless of income, country of origin, sex, race, sexual orientation, whatever. We all deserve it. That is what America promises to be until the capitalists took over the United States and bastardized the message of America. And another one of my favorites, the Black Student Alliance. The alliance was founded in May 1972, where several Black student unions in the Bay Area pulled together with the goal of creating concrete programs on the campus that would unify the student body and Black students with the Black community in order to make the Bay Area colleges better serve and be more responsible to surrounding poor and oppressed communities. The Black Student Alliance Institute instituted a program for free books and supplies, a free transportation program, child care services, financial aid program, a food program serving good, nutritious food at reasonable prices, and the initiation of relevant courses along with the demand for better instructors. And they don't mention it in here, but they actually had their own self-defense program teaching people how to defend themselves too, along with all these free and financial aid programs and services, childcare services. Wow. Food program, free books and supplies, free transportation. You can see the pattern here of what the Black Panthers weren't just trying to do. They did it. They created it. They made it happen. And the Black Panther newspaper, which is what I was trying to alert everybody to about the censoring of the entire internet to replace all content creators, human content creators, with AI generated content that AI can be easily programmed to what the billionaires want, the narratives the billionaires want promoted, shutting out all independent journalists, content creators. No, that's why it is so important for us to have our own independent media, journalism, our newspapers, whatever. We need to have it, protect it, and spread it as much as we can, and save our journalism in as many sources as possible so that they can't censor us by just destroying one website. That it's saved on too many sources that they can't destroy it. So the Black Panther newspaper. The paper was the official organ of the Black Panther Party. It was a tabloid-sized newspaper that published regularly every week starting April 1967. It was copyrighted by Huey P. Newton and was 24 pages distributed nationally. Nationally! You see this? The Black Panther provided news and information about the work of the Black Panther Party chapters throughout the country, news and news analysis of the Black and other oppressed communities in the United States, Africa, and around the world. Theoretical writings of party ideologists and general news features on all matters relative to the liberation of humankind from oppression of any kind, according to the Chief of Staff, David Hillard's summary of the Panther programs. Yes, it does bring me to tears. The liberation of humankind from oppression of any kind. We all deserve this. And the Black Panthers, they did so much to make this happen, even with the evil capitalist systems running. They created alternate systems running at the same time that we could transfer to. We didn't, so like right now, we can do this again globally. We can document everything that's happening in our local communities, publish it, share it with the world. Not just, again, not just what's happening here, United States, Africa, and around the world. They published the news. It's so important right now. The global internet censorship by billionaires. We shouldn't be oppressed in any way for any reason. And billionaires, robber barons, the rich, the elite, whatever you want to call them, they will never stop their rampage for global domination and a prison planet where we're all enslaved while they all profit from our labor and our work and our ideas. That is their goal. And the Black Panthers showed us exactly how to fight back. So, again, before this article is destroyed or censored or taken down or whatever, I have it documented here in this video, and I hope this inspires you all to realize that it is possible. The fascists haven't won. I can easily see a world without fascism, without class warfare, without white supremacy and bigotry. I can see a world like that. And the Black Panthers showed us step by step practical programs and how to establish them to lead us to that goal of world peace and human rights and liberation for all people. So please take it to heart. We might as well recreate the Black Panther Party at this point, globally. Maybe we can call it the Black Pink Panther Party. So if people look up Black Panthers, the Pink Panther, and Black Pink, it will all lead right back to us. The restoration of the Black Panther Party and everything that they did and achieved in spite of the systematic oppression. The alternate governments and programs, absolutely fabulous. So this is part one of what the part of the commitment positivity, which is revolutionary optimism. Fascists want us to think that they have won, that they are intimidating. They are not. They are losers, desperate losers who think that they're badass when they're just worthless. They want us to give in our power to them willingly, but we won't. Like the Black Panthers and revolutionary optimism in general, we have the power. And no matter what the fascists do to scare and intimidate us, we will not give in, we will not back down, and we will not obey in advance. So stay strong, everyone. We can do this. Get out of your rooms, touch grass, get out of isolation and talk to people in the community. And we can set up these Black Panther programs here, right now, in every single one of our countries and local communities. We can do this. Here's the way. Thank you.